What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going over Resident Evil 4. I think, Jared, you picked this game, or did we consensus pick
It was
it?
kind of a
Consensus pick.
Yeah.
But welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and if you like what you see, please click that like button. And Jared, go ahead and you start it off. I believe you're the Resident Evil guy, so you start it.
I like to think I'm the Resident Evil guy, but there's some...
In this group, you are.
Okay, yeah, which is it's not saying much. So
Jeez.
we decided to
Thanks.
we decided to play Resident Evil 4. Okay, some say it is the best Resident Evil. I don't know who says that, but some people do. I personally think it is near the top.
Okay.
It completely changed everything Resident Evil was. Camera view, story. They're not even zombies anymore. Not even in Raccoon City. Everything could change with this for the best, because I think the series got a little stale by the time this one came out. This kind of saved it. What was that?
I don't know.
So I think this one is definitely on the near the top. I personally think 3 is the best, but you know.
Well, let's save that. How do you want to break this down? Do you want to shoot it over to Brett? What do you want to do? How do you want to break down the us critiquing of the game here?
Well, let's go with Brad on this one because he looks like he's dying to say something.
Does? Oh, what do you want me to chime in on?
Just talk about the controls for a second. Let's just get that out of the way.
Okay. Easily the worst part about the game is the controls. They're not terrible. They just take, I guess, for a modern player, right? If you're used to 2 thumbsticks, like you're used to playing Halo or really any modern shooter, you use 2 analog sticks. And this one, you use 1 to basically do all your X and Y axis moving. So it just takes a little while to get used to it. Once you get used to it, you kind of don't notice it. But other than that, I mean, the normal controls, I mean, there is some quick time events or QTE events. They're not too overused. So in regards to controls, they hold up pretty well for how old it is. But I would say that's probably the number one thing they're going to fix in the remake is going to be that aspect of the controls. So like I said, I guess once you get used to it, you're fine. But it is going to take you probably the whole first chapter to like figure it out. And there are some spots opening up in the game where there's like laser beams. And I found myself just constantly running into them, even though I knew they were there, just because I kind of didn't judge how the controls were going to work. But yeah, all in all, I'd say for being an older game, I'd say it's like a C+.
Yeah, I think the first time I beat it was like 3 years ago, and by the time I got to the end of the game, I was fairly proficient in the controlling of the character. But the funny thing is, when I jumped back in last week, it was like I had never played it ever, because to your point, you're so accustomed to using the 2 sticks to where it took me a good hour just to get comfortable with it again and not be doing stupid stuff. But to your point, I think that's the thing I'm looking forward to the most with the remake is the controls. If they can fix that, I mean, obviously make it look better, that'd be what I'm looking forward to most. What were your thoughts, Jared?
I'm not as good as I remember because the controls killed me. I went around that one area where they all attack you, the villagers. Mm-hmm. I went around the corner, and a guy with a chainsaw just completely cut my head off. Yeah. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I didn't save it because I'm like, I don't need to save it. I'm who needs to save it? So I didn't save it. Went in there, got my head cut off, and turned it off. I'm like, I'll come back to this later.
Yeah. So what about the story? Who wants to kind of give a quick little synopsis?
Well, I mean, I think we go to Resident Jared.
Okay.
Here we go. Actually, that's better than Beret Jared. Resident Jared.
I don't think Beret Jared ever took off.
Yeah, it didn't.
Took off.
That's why he took off the beret.
Oh.
Nothing.
I'll allow it.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I guess Leon, after events of Resident Evil 2, he becomes an agent for the government, and I want to say Secret Service along that lines. He ends up like dealing with the president, and then Ashley, the president's daughter, gets kidnapped. So he's sent into, I want to say, Spain type area.
Yeah, it's definitely a Spanish country.
He gets sent there to locate the president's daughter by himself, which I always thought was a little weird. I know you're tough, but why would you not send a team? Anyways, he goes in by himself to go find her, and the 2 cops at the beginning are supposed to help him, but they want to wait for parking, make sure they get any parking tickets, So he ends up going in on his own. Those cops get killed, and then he realizes that it was a cult, I believe, like a religious cult type of thing that ends up taking her, and then he ends up having to just Rambo his way through everything. that's pretty much it. I don't know how he became an agent. They just kind of just throw that out there real quick. They mentioned that Umbrella stock prices dropped and they were finished, but we all know that's not the case.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much along the lines of that.
I'm counting on you guys. Oh, no.
Yeah, I think
Not the strongest story, but when you can, I guess, beat up people and kill villagers like he can, you don't really need much of a story.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, villagers, like this one it wasn't your typical, was it T-virus, or it wasn't your typical virus that made them like flesh-eating zombies. It was possessed villagers. What you maybe want to get into some of the enemies you remember fighting off against?
So the chainsaw one was the one I hated the most, just because they would kill me real quick. And then what I really hated was when I was shooting a villager and I blew his head off or something, and then that thing popped out of his head. Yeah, that weird. It didn't quite look like that, but something.
I think it was a little higher than that.
Some sort of like squid thing that comes out of their head, and then you got to kill him again. And then obviously the main bad guys.
Okay.
They were annoying. Before we get into the enemies, though, my least favorite character is that "What are you buying?" Or I didn't like that guy.
So
I don't mind him.
It's just weird. It doesn't fit.
it's kind of creepy after you get captured, and with Lewis, I believe his name is. And then all of a sudden you see through the window and the guy tells you to come around the corner. It's like, that's a little creepy. And then he goes like that and he shows you he has guns. Like I believe they really didn't have a way for you to buy guns and stuff. So they kind of threw him in at the end.
Yeah.
I always find myself just shooting him once at one of the places, just shooting him. Just say, because he kind of irritates me. Like I said, I'm on the fence with him. He kind of bothers me and he doesn't, but sometimes you're happy to see him, but other times he's kind of irritating. So you got to shoot him at least once.
He does kind of take you out of the game. Like, you're just like, it's possessed villagers and you work for the Secret Service. And like you said, he's like a solo mission to rescue the president's daughter. But then, like, you see this guy and it's like, first off, how is he carrying the weaponry underneath just his coat jacket?
His eyes are red too, so I think they think he's technically.
Or maybe he is a possessed villager who has like built like some type of immunity and he's just trying to help you out. But I mean, there has to be some way. It's better than just
I feel like business wouldn't be very good for him because who's buying weapons? And Leon happens to get there now. He can jack up the price for all his guns.
Yeah.
But I feel like there would be nobody to buy his stuff. So what's he been doing this whole time?
And why is he taking these eggs? Because you can find the little chicken eggs and sell them. I don't know.
I'm confused with him. Like I said, I'm on the fence with him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what were your guys' favorite characters? Or
I know Brad likes Krauser.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that guy's okay. The best, enemies. The ones I hated the most were the shield guys. Because it's like that. There's a mission where you gotta defend. I hate defending people when you have to defend Ashley. And actually used to play the not the mercenaries mode, but like the survival.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. And those guys, man, they just, unless you have your shotgun like maxed out and you hit it where it breaks the shield and pops their head, but then once again, that guy comes out and you're just like, you get overrun really quick, especially if you're playing on a hard difficulty. So I hated those guys. I actually liked the chainsaw guy. He scared me like a lot. I remember playing and it was just like, you see him, and I think it's because you can get one hit.
Yeah, he gets
one shot.
You're done, yeah.
And you just die, and it shows everything. It shows your head coming straight off, and you died.
Well, I was playing and I didn't even see him. I just heard the ring. I'm like, oh, he's around here somewhere, and I got caught by somebody else, and then just kind of cut me from the back.
Yeah.
But same thing. How about like the main bad guys?
You're like Sadler.
Sadler.
Yeah.
What was the little guy's name with the crazy hat?
I was starting to wonder when you might notice us.
Who are you?
Me llamo Ramon Salazar, the 8th Castellan of this magnificent architecture.
I don't remember what his name was. He turns into a monster at one point.
He sucks.
Yeah, he was just annoying.
And then Leon throws a knife at his hand, and it's stuck in his hand. Then right after the scene, you have the knife again.
The quick time events, though, when you fight, is it Krauser? Or do you go? What's the other one's name?
There's the big golem creature, not the ogre, whatever the hell he is. That guy.
El Gigante.
El
Something
Gigante.
Something like that.
Something, yeah.
No, but not Krauser.
Wesker.
Wesker.
Yeah. Oh, did you die there?
No, I didn't die there. I was
Oh.
impressed that I didn't. But then when I did fight that big the big bad guy, and you have to like go through the maze or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I died there quite a few times actually.
I remember you calling me. You said, "I keep dying." He's not hard, dude.
It wasn't hard, but I was on the
not.
phone with you and not paying attention at the same time.
He's
Yeah.
hard.
Speaking of the Wesker fight, it's kind of like homoerotic, I guess you could say. Like the way they're like, it's like little slow motion with the knives and stuff. I was just like, these guys are really going at it here.
So did we all just play on Xbox? Is that what we played
Yeah,
on?
I played
on the
Xbox.
marketplace.
I mean,
Yeah.
for now, we've all played the GameCube.
Yeah.
I haven't played the PlayStation version.
Yeah, it has the extra missions with Ada.
Yeah. I thought so after I beat it, I went through the main menu to see the extra missions and stuff like that. I was surprised that a lot of that stuff was in there because to me, it's like once you beat the main game, who goes and plays all that other stuff? I typically don't. I don't know if you guys
Mercenaries, I
do.
played Mercenaries.
But there was Mercenaries. Then there was
Game Plus mode where you get to keep like your guns, right?
Yeah.
Your upgraded guns.
But there were
I
two
like that.
extra. We wrote it down or had it somewhere. I don't remember what it was, but 2 other modes. So there's 3 game modes.
There's a
outside
survivor
of the
mode.
game, and pretty cool. I feel like that adds some replayability there. I don't know why I said replayability the way I said it, but
weird.
and
talking-
I like that.
Talking about the different versions you're talking about?
No, there's 3 other
Game
ways to play.
modes.
Yeah, game
Oh,
modes
game
to play the game once you've completed it. But
Yeah.
I guess what else we got? What else do we want to touch on?
So, what do you think of the sound / voice acting? Now,
That's
Leon says some questionable, corny stuff in this. Like very beginning when he goes in and he hears the chainsaw, goes, "Huh, chainsaw!" Like, yeah, as a guy with a chainsaw. I mean, and then when you beat them all and they go in there, they say like Lord Sadler, and then they go in there and he goes, "Who are they going to? Bingo."
Lord Sadler. Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
I felt like they almost tried to throw some comedic stuff in there
Yeah.
in some parts. It didn't really fit too much for my liking, but
Yeah, I mean, I guess for what 2005 or whatever came out, I mean, I guess that's okay, but like his lines were kind of corny, and then that little I can't remember that little guy's name for some. I'm drawing a blank. He keeps calling you Mr. Scott. Dude, just call him Leon.
yeah.
Yeah. And his
Like-
voice sucks.
Yeah, he sucks. He even when he turns into that creature at the end, he sucks.
You know, it just passed. Actually, it was January 11th,
Yeah, that.
the 2005. So
Yeah.
The anniversary.
the
yeah.
anniversary just passed.
Well, you didn't have to say anything. We could have made it seem like it was the anniversary.
So game mode, sorry, I got to
Yeah.
hear it. Was Mercenaries, right? That's one
Yeah.
you guys talked about. And then there was Assignment Ada and Separate Ways. So cool way to
Yeah.
add some.
So assignment 8 is just random. Separate Ways is actually part of the story. So like for instance, when you go at the very beginning when he's the bingo part, when they ring the bell, Ada actually goes and does that and
Yeah.
rings the bell to
Yeah.
help you. So Ada is kind of helping you because even though you have kind of fight with Ada, and she always tries to steal stuff from you, whatever. She actually has a soft spot for Leon and secretly wants to help him and kind of be part of his mission in his life.
It's a love-hate relationship. Yeah.
And he's the same way because even when at the end when she pulls the gun and he's like, you know what this will do, whatever, when they take the virus, like she could shoot him and kill him because she, that's what she does, but she doesn't because she secretly has that friendship /
Yeah.
love interest with Leon.
I was always hoping that we were going to get another Resident Evil 2 moment where,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But we didn't get that.
Yeah, he doesn't know what we're talking
Now
about.
I got to
So-
put that in there.
So what was what's your most memorable part of the game?
Oh,
in general?
easy. Jared knows me. I'm a sucker for like the last line, like Alamo defense. So when you're in the house and they're just
Yeah.
coming in, especially on the hard difficulty, and you got your buddy with you,
Lewis, yeah.
that's the best part of the game for me because you're just pumping them.
Yeah, if you shoot Lewis like 2 or 3 times, he'll do a cut scene where he's like, bye, Leon, he'll shoot you and kill you.
Yeah.
How about you, Jared? What was this? Yours the same or?
Yeah, and I think it's sad that I'm just terrible with names right now. It's that big dude that when you're in the barn type of thing, and he likes to grab you by the throat.
Yeah, you're talking about the guy that like splits.
Yeah,
right?
he likes to grab you by
exactly.
the throat, and he pushes you in, and then he bends the door
Yeah.
so you can't get out, the handles. And then when you like shoot him and he like rips in half, and he's
Yeah.
hanging from the rafters. I always remember that one because I remember when I was probably played this when I was 2005, so 16, 17 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and he would always kill me. And I guess I sucked back then too. But that part always stood out to me because you like once you think you kill him, and then he's like another part, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh, there. And
turns
then
like the bee or
I would
whatever it
always
is,
try to keep my accuracy above 80%. And I don't know why. When it shows like your percentage of your shooting
Yeah.
percentage, I always want to be 80%. So I wouldn't just go guns blazing, just trying to shoot him. I would try to hit him like, I don't know why I did that.
So legitimate question: was he trying? Did they try to make him look like Rasputin?
That's
Is that
what
what
I
they were
thought,
going
yeah.
for?
I think so.
with like the big beard.
He doesn't know who
and he looked all
Rasputin is, right?
drugged up.
He's like, I don't know.
No, but I was gonna go into my my favorite, not favorite part, but a part that sticks with me, and it's just because it's kind of corny, dorky, and weird. When you're in that one corridor and the lasers are there, and they kind of go like this, and then when you get to the end, he does that wall jump and backflips and lands. It was like Mission Impossible in the middle of this. It's just
Kinda like
weird.
the
In
first
my head,
movie.
that part sticks with
Yeah,
me.
kind of
as-
like the West.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all of a
Anderson,
sudden they trained him to be more athletic. Because he was just a cop before, and now he can do like super
Well, now he works
jumps.
for the president, or he's
Yeah.
going for save the president's daughter. They
Yeah.
only send the best.
Used to be a cop myself. Only for a day, though.
I thought I was bad.
Yeah, well, wouldn't they
So-
have sent Jilden?
I mean, I guess not. Let's see here. Given that we've played, like this is 4, but we've played multiple since then, right? 5 and 6 weren't great, but then you had Biohazard, and the latest one is
Village.
Village. What are your thoughts on this one now that you're kind of playing it, after playing those other ones? Because at the time, I think we talked about this was phenomenal, right? And not saying whether we think it's Smack certified or not, but when you've played newer ones, where do you think this one kind of
Personally, for me, obviously all of them are different. Like if you play 1 through 3, you have the fixed camera angles and everything, which it's cool. It's more atmospheric. This to me is like the perfect blend of action, and there's some horror parts. And speaking back on the Sadler guy, like that was the pinnacle of graphics at the time when he was hanging from like the rafters swinging towards you. So the graphics still hold up pretty well. The newer ones are first person. So yeah, it's super horror element. It's like they're trying to go the Outlast, I guess, route. So, they're all different. I guess if you want the perfect blend of both, this is the game to play. 5 was okay. 6 was not good.
We only played half of 6. We gave up on it.
Yeah, and you start punching a boulder to
Now it's
like
5, dude.
Is that 5? Yeah. I'm
When
like,
Chris just gets buffer and buffer every game.
yeah, he barely fits in his suit. And then the Sheva, she's just in 1. And anyways, that's a different game.
So what
but-
are your thoughts, Jared?
So I would definitely say Nemesis is my favorite, and then I would say probably 2 because we played 2 on N64 for years. We didn't know it was really a crappy port of it. We didn't know, we're little
Yeah.
kids. But then this one probably. So I would go 2. I'm sorry, I'll go 3, 2, and then this one, and then the newer ones like 7. I liked it,
They're different though.
but I'm not a huge fan of it being first person, and that's why I haven't jumped on Village yet because I'm not a huge fan of first person. They're fun. But that's why I gravitate towards more towards the remakes, like Resident Evil 2 remake, Resident Evil 3 remake, and now they're making 4. I would prefer those over the first person style.
So how much have you heard about the 4 remake though, and what are your thoughts on that?
So this one, you know how when you can break barrels and stuff, and it's like all arcade-ish, where you can see like the new one doesn't look like that, but it looks like they try to keep it where he can do his crazy kicks and flips and stuff, but they keep it where it's not arcade-ish.
A little more
So
grounded.
it's more like Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake, but where he can do kicks and stuff compared to the other ones they can't.
So they still going third person, or
It's third person, yeah.
still?
Now he, like I've said before, Leon looks a little weird. Ashley sucks anyways, but she looks a little weird. The characters kind of look different, so I don't know what they were going for. But if you compare Leon from this to the new one, there is a difference the way they're making him look.
yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm sure the game will be amazing. I'll probably look past that. But maybe because I'm just used to this one, this is what I've probably played this game beat it 15, 20 times. I don't know why. It gets pretty stale after a while, but I just kept playing it.
What else did you want to touch on before we say if this is Smack certified or not? What do you guys got?
You
Your
guys,
fun factor.
Ooh,
oh, fun.
Can't forget about fun factor.
Very fun. It is super arcade-ish, like you mentioned. It's Capcom. So I guess the way, if you're a younger viewer and you haven't played this, I guess Dead Rising?
Yeah.
Very Dead Rising-ish, right? Where it's like you can, I don't know, like you said, like you're shooting, sometimes you're knifing snakes to get like little eggs, or you're shooting a chicken, or you're shooting little things in the tree, and then you're doing these flips, and he's flipping over lasers. It is really arcade-ish, but yeah, I'm like, it's all fun. Like I'd give it a B on Fun Factor.
B for fun
B.
factor.
What would it have to do to be an A in fun factor?
An A, I would say more of those survival, like you're trapped in the house kind of
Yeah.
scenes. I like those.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Now, did you save the dog at the beginning?
Always save the dog, yeah. Talking about the one in the bear trap?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember.
because if you save the dog, he helps you later.
Interesting.
He
What does he help
distracts.
you do?
He attacks the big guy or the
He
big.
just barks at the big El Gigante, or I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah.
his name, and he gets distracted by him, so you can just shoot him.
Yeah.
But there are some sick people out there that wouldn't help him, and it's kind of sounding like you were one of those people.
He didn't.
No,
even
I
know
don't.
that.
I don't remember.
Now.
So to be completely transparent with, so beat it a few years back, and then when I played it again this time, I was with the save modes. I was jumping back into different chapters, so I didn't start back at the beginning. Kind of just jumped right into it. So I don't remember if I saved around. But for me, fun factor, I think B is fair. It's not like the funnest thing I've ever played, but and the story's good enough to keep you coming back. When I did finally beat it, whatever it was, 3-4 years ago, I think I beat it in like a couple days because I couldn't stay away from it. But once it was done, it was like I didn't need to go back necessarily.
You gotta raise the
could be.
difficulty and go back. It's more fun when the difficulty's higher because it's like you actually have to strategize, use your knife a lot more.
Yeah.
Shoot him in the leg, and then
I'm not
flip
about
him.
making games super difficult. I like to get through, get the story, and then move on to the next game.
I thought I was bad.
So
That's my style.
He plays Doom on like Hurt Me Plenty. Or
Yeah,
whatever
I
it's
know.
called.
Speaking of Doom, we'll talk about that later.
So what was fun to me about the game, what I like to do, is get the different guns and see how he reloads. I know it's weird. Like he had that little, like the old school, like World War II looking gun. I don't know what it's
Yeah.
called. And he puts a stripper clip on top, and then he reloads, and you flip it. The stripper clip flies off.
Yeah.
So I like to do that, different guns, to see how the animation would, with each gun. And it was actually
Yeah.
pretty cool to do that.
First thing I always do is I always max out the pistol to
Yeah.
like the maximum
Yeah.
level, so it's like it makes the game so much easier.
What do you think about just Resident Evil in general, and you having to like combine things to make health
herbs and stuff?
potions and stuff? Like, what do you like that?
I do.
You do?
But
Okay.
because I'm just, like I said, that's what one of the, I've played that game for years, and that's what I'm used to. Like,
Yeah.
you mix the herbs. When people
Yeah.
say herbs, it's actually an herb. You mix the red herb.
Why are we roasting people that want to say herb? Say herb.
It's an herb. Herbal essence.
So what if a guy has a name Herb? His name isn't Herb. It's Herb.
Well, it's a name. It's
Well,
different.
what about if you're from another country and it's pronounced herb, not herb?
It is not. Huh?
No,
No,
it's
I'm
what's the
saying
name?
in other
What's his name?
in other
What's his
countries
name, yeah.
they pronounce things differently. So
Maybe they identify as a herb, not an herb. I don't
yeah,
know. Whatever.
Like, I mean, they say garage instead of garage, right?
They say a lot of weird stuff. But
Bonnet?
Go ahead. What
Yeah,
were
so
you
I like
you like that?
I
hate
like
it.
the mixing it, stuff, because like you got to strategize. Okay, should I just use a green herb now, or should I mix it, make a red herb, and wait till I'm almost dead to get the most out of this thing, and then you get one big whack and you're dead.
I also don't.
Yeah, that thing.
don't-
And they swing from far away. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, they can cut your head off.
Yeah.
But I don't like where you have this little suitcase. You got to fill it with things, and then
You
when
gotta strategize,
I don't
dude.
like that. Like,
gotta
I'm
strategize.
sorry, I just
Yeah.
don't. I also don't like little save areas where you can only save it in this one area.
Dude,
I
get used
need-
to the
I'd rather
modern
hit the
games.
start button, hit
No,
save,
no, no.
and keep going.
No, it
man.
makes you strategize. See, I did that at the beginning of this when I played it last time, and I made a decision, and I made the wrong one.
And guess what? You quit playing because you made the wrong one. Had they done it my way, you would have kept playing.
I quit playing because I had to play something else.
Do you not remember Alien Isolation? Like that's what made the
Yeah,
game
it does.
great. Was you have to strategize to
No.
the save point.
I didn't certify Alien Isolation, so. But anyway, what else we got?
What about the water when you had to go across?
Oh, I hate
your boat? Did you guys like that?
No.
That's the only place I died actually. I don't know what
You
happened.
just played straight through without saving it one time and never died?
this most recent time, yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, no.
And when the girl gets in the wall, Ashley, and she's like, "Oh, there's these little markings on the wall. Let me stand right up."
Oh, she's annoying. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, she's an annoying
Plot
character, for sure.
I usually have her hide in the one part. You can have her hide in dumpsters. I just let her hide in there, just leave her for a while.
Yeah.
She's so annoying.
Yeah, maybe my least favorite character, just from the annoying.
From just the game or the series? Oh, you don't play
No,
the series.
in the.
No, I'm saying 'cause you
We're talking about the game.
Yeah, I don't know. You said at least.
In the game. No, I have some. Yeah.
The guys who throw dynamite, I don't like them.
Oh, I
They're
don't.
the
Okay,
worst.
that's one thing I'm gonna go for. The last part of the game, which doesn't brings the game from being perfect to good, great, is that last part where you're like on the island and these things have like they shock you with things.
Yeah.
And they shoot. I mean, that part right there is like, okay, maybe we should have ended this game like 2 hours ago. That part right there drops it from a 10 out of 10 to like a 9 out of 10.
What about
Okay.
those cryogenic guys?
Oh, I like those guys.
They like move all slow.
You have to
very
use
long,
the
and-
you have to use the thermal.
to find
scope,
their
yeah.
multiple hearts. Yeah,
Yeah,
those
that-
guys were scary. The first
Yeah,
time
they
you see them,
scare me.
you're like, "What in the?"
Yeah.
Anything else before we get into if we're going to certify this bad boy or not? We obviously got to throw it to producer Rich for his 15 seconds of fame from the 77 people that watch.
I think it's going to be called 15 Seconds with Producer Rich.
Well, that's you. You do all the editing.
Do
Yeah.
you want the Metacritic as well?
So
We'll
obviously
do that when we're going to do the SMAC
just
certification, right?
yeah. So for now, we'll throw it to you. You got. Let me stop this, and you'll have 15 seconds when I say go to hit us with anything you think is important that we might have missed. Okay,
It's a new
Okay,
year,
I'm
so you better bring it.
and go.
No, I'm not ready.
Well, it's too late.
I had it in the spot.
Your time's going.
Okay, just restart it, dude.
Dead air.
He's gonna have no time at all.
I gotta find.
He's running
Okay,
out of
I'm
time.
ready now.
Go ahead.
You ready?
Yeah, we've been ready.
All right. The original version of
And time's up. Okay, so we'll never know what he had to say, but maybe next time he'll be prepared. Okay, Metacritic and price, please.
Are we really not going to go back and...
Well, I'm not going back.
He's all ready. Look
Metacritic
at-
for
He wasn't ready.
He's sad. Look at his face.
Are you ready?
We can't cut. Yeah, Metacritic.
For the GameCube, it was 96.
Jeez.
Wow.
PC, it was 76.
It's not very good.
PS2, PlayStation 2,
Yeah.
96.
Wow.
PlayStation 3, 84.
How's it go lower?
Wii was 91.
Holy
and
smokes.
360. Xbox was 84.
Well, we expected that. Anytime something's on Microsoft, everyone hates on it.
Well,
Right,
PS3 was
so-
actually the lowest, 83.
PC was the lowest.
No,
PC
oh, you're right,
was-
76.
PC Master Race, they hate on everything.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Well, no, the port probably just sucked.
The GameCube was 96. It was
That's
really high.
crazy. And then just give us the dollar amount for the console. So Xbox, PlayStation, and GameCube when you get a chance. But I did want to touch on that. I didn't go back and play the GameCube one this recent time, but that's where I played it the time before. I didn't see like a huge difference between visually or anything. I'm more accustomed to an Xbox controller. But I think the best part for me about the GameCube one is that it's 2 discs, and that's just cool. It's unique. It's different. I mean, for the GameCube, there were quite a few games that were multiple discs, but that's really, really cool to me.
Well, I made a promise to myself. I am not going to go back to the GameCube version until I get the chainsaw control.
Oh,
Now it's $1,000 plus, so it's not going to be happening anytime
you're
soon.
never going back to it.
So until I get that chainsaw control, I won't be playing
I
it.
feel like I'd like to play on the Wii, see how that is. It's still
motion
it got a
control,
91, so
It's Nintendo. They're going to give.
I don't think it was you had to do the motion, did you?
I hope not.
Because they had Wiimotes, like the regular Wii controllers that you probably could use. The Pro controllers. That probably would have made it fun.
Nintendo. Silly.
I have a on the GameCube. It's 34.
Well, it's gone up,
Well,
Jared, right?
34 and 3 shipping.
No, I think I paid more than that.
Okay, so 37. We're going to include shipping.
And this is on eBay. You're just finding random.
Yeah, and pretty
random
much
price on eBay?
factory sealed for PS2 is $24.99.
Wow.
Sealed, huh?
It's probably
Yeah.
because it's all in all the next gen. You can just download it now, so
Yeah,
competition.
greatest hits version is 23. Because both put PlayStation.
I don't really think. Do we need any more? I guess Wii if you can find it. If you want to play
You
on
want
the Wii.
version?
I want to pay him a Wii. That's Richard.
Yeah.
I want to
sound-
pay him a Wii.
Let's
Sounds
see.
just like 'em.
On the Wii, you're looking at $9.95 plus $4.50.
Mm.
Yeah, so
That's where your money's
I
at.
have something similar here.
And this one's 14, so roughly $15.
The GameCube one's a little bit more expensive than
Yeah.
the PlayStation and
Yeah,
Xbox ones,
definitely.
which is kind of expected there.
Yeah, definitely.
In the mid 30s, and then in the Xbox and PlayStation around $20. So, let's go 35ish because this is what it originally came out on. I feel like that's if you were playing it day one, that's probably the one you would have played it on. That's the one I would like. Actually, that is the one
Yeah.
I have. I don't have the other versions. So we'll say 35ish. Is it worth $35 for the GameCube? Just because that's what it came out on originally. And who wants to start? If they think it's Smack certified, Brad,
Preach, man.
you want to start?
Preach.
Preach.
Go
All
ahead.
right, so Brad, you'll start. Do you think Resident Evil 4 is worth the money and is therefore Smack certified? Go.
This game is Smack certified.
Okay,
That's it?
No, I'll give a little bit of detail. It's Smack certified because it checks all the boxes. Okay.
Okay.
Fun factor, bam. Controllers, they're playable. Graphics still hold up. Corny, like you said, so it's got some ha 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 chuckles in there. And then also the enemy types are cool. It keeps you coming back with different little set pieces. You like that? Set pieces? You're in the house in one scene. You're in a boat in another. You're in a mansion in another. You have to defend and do an escort mission in another, which sucks, but it's just long enough, and then you get out of it. And then the boss fights, quick time events. You get a little romance with Wesker. What's not to like? SmackCertified.
Okay, Jared, you want to go or you want me to go?
I think you should take it.
Okay, I'll take it because we know what you're going to... Just a matter if you're going to pay $100,000 for it or not. I won't be as to the point as you, Brad, with just saying it is or isn't. I'll say some of the things I don't like, some of the things I do like. I personally don't like that they are just like regular people who are kind of like demonic or possessed. I liked the older ones when they were creepy looking.
Okay.
So that isn't my favorite in the series, even though you said I don't play the series. Whatever.
He's too scared.
Has he ever proven he's played this one?
He's too scared to play it.
That being said, there is a lot there, and I feel like the story's decent enough to get you into it, and once you start playing, you're kind of addicted. So for $35 on GameCube, I think it's SmackCertified, if for no other reason right now than to get it and get ready for the new one coming out in 2 months or so.
The remake. Yeah.
So I'm going to say it's SmackCertified.
Okay. Now, before I jump onto mine, what's with this Wesker? What are you talking about, Wesker? Are you talking about Krauser with the knife fight? I can't get...
No, is there not a scene? Is there not a scene like later in the game? Now, once again, I didn't make it that far this time I played it, but when you run into Wesker and there's like this QTE knife fight, is that
That's Krauser.
either way? There's a little romance.
That's why you
thing
keep
going
saying
on.
it's like, oh my god, like, what are you talking about?
So when you fight later on in the game, doesn't he say, I thought you were dead?
Yeah, and there's like a quick time event. It's only QTE.
No, the Wesker, it is Wesker with the QTE and the knife.
Yeah.
That is Wesker.
Yeah,
What are
and-
you talking
But
about?
later on, when you're in another area,
Yeah, in
is
like
that
the dirt.
Krauser again?
You're talking about when you're walking and then somebody jumps down and tries to attack you with the knife? That's Krauser. What are you talking about with Wesker?
I thought that was Wesker.
I think we're just confusing the names.
Wesker, if I'm not mistaken, Wesker is only in it when he talks to Ada. Krauser is your ex-partner with a knife fight, and he like cuts his shirt. That's Krauser,
Oh,
not Wesker.
either way, it's still some romantic, weird things going on there.
I was like, am I missing something here?
Anyway,
I thought that was Wesker.
Not
I
even
didn't-
close to
well,
Wesker.
once again, on this playthrough, I did not make it that far back, so I was going off memory, and I just thought blonde hair.
So the 70 people that watched this, who were like, dude, what are you talking about? And I did it for him.
you just Haley'd
So
me back.
here's what I have here. And this was asked 5 days ago. So some
Still
people are thinking
relevant.
the same thing. In the original RE4, Wesker only really appears in the mercenaries mode of the game. So it will be interesting to see in what context Capcom will bring him in the remake. So he's in it. We just confused because they're both kind of yoked dudes.
No.
Wesker's
one
not,
looks like Val
yeah.
Kilmer. One looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's
Okay,
ripped.
but in this one, Wesker... okay,
He's just at like a computer or something,
So
right?
put up
Yeah.
put on the screen, put up Wesker, put up Krauser, and then make fun of how stupid we are for talking
Right
about
away,
Wesker
boss.
for,
Right away.
for how stupid we are in this.
Okay.
But yes,
Either way,
Krauser,
still very romantic.
Krauser.
Very,
Yes.
If you actually play one of the other games, they should explain how they're partners. But anyways, I say graphics are still pretty good. Controls, terrible. Voice acting, corny, but I like it. Just enough. Just enough.
corn.
Yeah, I think the sound with the gun sound shots and the music and atmosphere is amazing. $35? What do you think I would pay for it?
I think you'd pay 50.
I was gonna say 55. But you're really close.
Whoa.
Wow.
SmackCertified, 100%.
So we all agree the game is SmackCertified, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
even at 50-ish bucks, that's probably pushing
It's a GameCube. It was a GameCube exclusive. So if you only had money, you had a decent amount of money, and you could only buy one version. It should be the GameCube version because that was one of their main games, and that was one of the selling points. And the reason why they put it on everything else is because the GameCube didn't sell as much as PlayStation 2, obviously. So they had to port it to make money. But it was supposed to be their exclusive.
Well, just think about how momentous of a moment that was. Like Resident Evil, that's a PlayStation game. You're just like only on Nintendo, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, they had to have paid a pretty penny for that, and then also they were trying to turn over a new leaf, right?
Yeah.
Like for N64, they were looked at as the kiddie console. So when they came out with this GameCube, which was purple and square and had a handle and still looked kiddie, and then they brought out some adult themed games. We talked about Eternal Darkness
Yeah,
the
I was
last
gonna say that,
couple weeks ago. If you haven't seen that one, go back and watch that. And now with Resident Evil, so they tried. I feel,
And they went right back.
Yeah.
Like, let's abandon ship.
but yeah. So with that being said, how excited are you, Jared? I know we're both excited, but how excited are you for the remake, which is coming out, I believe, March 23rd, something March of 2023.
24th.
How excited are you, Jared?
That was quick.
Out of
Probably
10.
like 10.
A 10 out of 10.
I've been every day I go to the Microsoft store hoping they make it. Oh, it's gonna be a little bit earlier, So I kind of
Okay,
even
yeah,
though I'm gonna buy a
that's-
physical version, I still look like, oh, maybe they'll do like a little earlier. No.
That's a 10. To be
So
that
with
excited, yeah.
with 2 and 3, you were excited, right? I think you said 2 and 3 are even more. You like those more than 4.
I like the remake. Yeah, I like those better. I like the remakes better than the newer games they're making. So that being said, because this is a remake and it's a remake of one of their best ones, yeah. Now I would love to see a remake of Code Veronica, but that one a lot of people don't know about. So that I don't feel like that would sell as much.
I've seen Code Veronica. I think the case is cool. I've seen it at like
Yeah,
some stores
has
and wanted
Chris
to
in
pick
it
it up. It's a
and
little
Claire
expensive,
on it.
isn't it? Isn't it
On
expensive?
Dreamcast, I think it's like $45.
Oh, I felt like it was
Yeah.
super expensive. Is it Code Veronica X? Is that?
That's the Xbox version, but
Or the PlayStation.
yeah,
right?
but the Code Veronica for that
just
was an
cutscenes.
exclusive for Dreamcast, and of course the Dreamcast didn't sell very well either. So then they had to port it over. So I feel like the Resident Evil games that are going to be exclusives end up going somewhere else because they attach themselves to the wrong console. Because they could attach stuff to PlayStation 2 and it would have been a huge hit right
Yeah,
away.
and Code Veronica, I think, is right. They're up there fighting for the best Resident Evil game.
That one I haven't played. I'll be honest with you on that one. Haven't played that one.
Well, the
it's
re-
hard.
the
It's
reason-
actually pretty difficult to the point where even if you're like a seasoned, horror gamer or whatever you would even call it, like it's a difficult game.
Does that one have zombies again?
Yeah,
Okay, so it's more in line with 2 and 3.
you're like in a prison. You're like
Yeah,
breaking out
so
from a prison. Yeah.
If you're gonna play them, you can play all of them. Just stay away from 6.
Yeah, you've told me in the
Stay
past
away
5
from
and
6.
6.
No, 5 is playable because it's 2-player and it's almost like this, just a little bit more over the top. 6 is just straight ass.
6 was dumb. Weren't you like on buildings and stuff?
It was
6
like,
was
yeah.
4 stories all like overlapping into one. They try
Yeah.
to do like some Christopher Nolan
Yeah.
time stuff.
Now
like,
Leon's
this story. And,
Leon's campaign, you have a Secret Service. I don't remember her name, but she's your partner. That's the only good part of the game, was when you play as Leon, because you're in a city that's like Raccoon City, and you have to get out, and then you get stuck in the gun store. Remember, and the big
Yep.
fat zombie comes in. That part's fun, but once you get to like Chris's part, where you're like in China shooting people with guys that have guns and shooting back, it's just stupid.
Yeah, that part reminded me of Resident Evil, the online one that never panned out. What's
Yeah,
that
talking
called?
about Outbreak.
Yeah, that
Those are
when
good.
when you're stuck inside the bar.
Yeah, those
that
are
it
good.
reminded me of that. But
So, okay. Resident Evil, SmackCertified. We're moving on. The theme of this one was we picked it because there's a remake coming out.
Yeah.
So I believe this week, whose week is it to pick? I don't think any of us even decided who was going to pick, because this was kind of like a group effort.
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you want a group effort again and pick another game, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, you-
Let's just decide it on the spot, since we
I'm
didn't really think
I'm
about
leaning
this.
towards Dead Space.
You want to do Dead Space?
Yeah, because Dead Space, they're doing the remake.
When did Dead Space come out originally? What year?
2008.
2008. You think it's old enough?
Oh yeah,
I mean, they are doing a remake, right? Or is it a remaster?
it's
or
a
is it-
brand new. They're remaking the whole game.
Yeah.
Ground up. It comes out January 27th.
Oh,
I
so
believe.
yeah, we'd have to do
Oh,
it now.
okay.
then.
January
So that's what I'm
27th
saying.
we
It'd be
get this up.
perfect because Isaac
Clarke, I think.
I thought that might have been an actor. I don't want to make him, look like an idiot with the Ben Feldman thing
Jonathan
again.
Isaac. That's
I don't
the
make-
Orlando Magic basketball
that's
player.
bad.
Yeah,
I didn't want to
that's
make the same mistake with Ben Feldman type of thing. So he's a perfect hero because in the first game he doesn't say anything, doesn't say a word.
So do you have Dead Space?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have it. Let's grab it wherever it's at.
It's gonna be
and
over there somewhere.
and kind of look at that. So we'll move on next week. We'll do a Dead Space
That's why I have-
review.
It's good to have.
So that would that go up before the 20s? It should. Today's the
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
what's
it
the
would
date?
go-
What's the date, Rich?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. Okay.
it's the 13th,
Is it
January 13th.
Friday the 13th?
Oh, it is. Friday.
And we're doing a horror one. What?
We're not prepared at all, are we?
So we decided that Resident Evil 4 is Smack certified. So congrats to Resident Evil 4. I know that's what you were waiting for, Capcom, to hear if we Smack certified your game or not 20 years later. But we did. And next week we'll be going over Dead Space. So appreciate you guys' time. Thanks for watching. And if you haven't already, please click the like and subscribe. And if you could share it with some friends, that'd be cool too.
Leave some comments.
Yeah, if you made it this far, please just say, "Hey, I made it to the end."
By the way, he's looking at an Xbox, not 360.
Yeah, don't. Anyways, appreciate your time. Peace.
She's like a part of me I can't let go.
Let's leave it at that.